Just like Barbie has a lot of professions, Kirby can also transform into many different things. And in this video, we're gonna show you all the abilities that Nintendo's Pink Balloon can get in Kirby's Return to Dream Land Deluxe. Don't be a glutton and hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications or Kirby will get very sad. We're showing you all Kirby's abilities and transformations in Kirby's Return to Dream Land Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. Okay, let's start with Kirby's new Mecha ability, which looks a lot like the robots from the Gundam anime. We'll be able to shoot beams thanks to his cannons and launch a powerful charged beam that can be saved for later use. If Kirby gets close to the enemy, he'll switch his cannons to fire fists. We sneakily show you the ninja ability. Kirby turns into Naruto, and he's able to throw kunais at his targets. Kirby can use plenty of ninja abilities. He'll be able to grab enemies, attack while sticking to the walls, throw a smoke bomb, or surprise with a beautiful but deadly flower explosion. If Kirby absorbs a Waddle Doo, he gets the ability that started it all in the Kirby games, the Beam ability. It's not as complex as the previous one and basically allows him to throw energy bolts with a magic staff, as well as grab enemies. If Kirby attacks in the air, he will quickly create a circle that damages on contact. Super abilities made their debut in Kirby's Return to Dream Land Deluxe. There are 5, and the first of them is Flare Beam. Now this is a more powerful version of the Beam ability, and when activated, Kirby will summon a powerful energy ball that'll blast everything in his path. Now if you misbehaved, Kirby will probably punish you with his whip ability. Depending on how bad you've been, you might get a whip, 100 whips, a capturing whip, or, if you couldn't have done any worse, a tornado whip. With the Parasol ability, Kirby is possessed by a Benidorm lady and will go everywhere with a parasol. It's used for gliding and taking advantage of airstreams, but it's also useful to perform some circus tricks, such as rolling enemies over the umbrella. With a festival ability, it's always carnival time. This power was introduced in Kirby Star Allies, and Nintendo wanted to add it as an extra ability in the deluxe version. Here, Kirby performs a short RuPaul number that'll destroy everything around him. If you activate this ability in multiplayer mode, the rest of the characters will join him in the dance. The high jump gives Kirby an extra boost when jumping. If he keeps it charged, he can activate the mega high jump, which is like the high jump but better. And since everything that goes up must come down, when falling we can perform a powerful rocket dive. Next up, we have the Ice ability, possibly one of the most versatile abilities Kirby can have, allowing him to do things like freeze enemies or skate across the ground. What you probably didn't know is that he can also absorb enemies and transform them into ice cubes, or transform himself into a deadly little ice ball. If you want a surprise, then you have the Snowball super ability. This is an upgraded version of the ice ball, and with it, you'll be able to roll through the stages with great speed. Being able to make snowmen or cover volcanoes is a bonus. Testing, 1, 2, 3. The mic ability generates a big noise that damages all enemies. It goes through 3 stages. In the first one, Kirby will use a megaphone. In the next one, he will pick up a microphone. And in the last one, he will give a concert. If you hold down the button and charge the attack in the last stage, Kirby will scream even louder. With the hammer ability, Kirby will be able to copy King DDD in the way he attacks. Charging the attack will produce fire. And if you've had enough of this ability, you can throw the hammer with a powerful throw. By the way, Kirby's headband is a reference to Mochizuki, the process by which mochi is created. The hammer also has a super version, the Grand Hammer. In this case, it's used to hit the ground with great force. Depending on how Kirby charges it, it'll become a more or less powerful hammer. It seems that Kirby wanted more fights after Super Smash Bros., and that's why he has the fighter ability. In addition to doing judo moves and punching, Kirby will be able to do a little Hadouken like the main characters in Street Fighter. Another new feature in the deluxe version of Kirby's Return to Dream Land is the Sand ability. You'll be able to imitate Spider-Man's Sandman and perform powerful sand fist attacks. The fun here is that you can hide in the ground or create huge sandcastles to surprise enemies. Sometimes Kirby eats so much that he looks like he's going to explode. Especially when he swallows the bomb ability, he can basically plant or throw bombs to blow up his opponents. Kirby explodes with joy when he gets the crash ability. When activated, Kirby will literally explode, taking out everything in his path. If you hold the button down, you can charge the attack for an even bigger explosion. Now, if you like slashing your enemies, the cutter ability comes in pretty handy. It also works as a boomerang that bounces off the walls and back into Kirby's hands. During the development of the game, a super cutter ability was created, but it was unfinished in the Wii version and was eventually scrapped. The leaf ability is one of the least loved by fans, basically because it's not that spectacular. The thing is, it rings a bell. Maybe throwing leaves isn't the most effective weapon in the world, but at least you'll be able to turn Kirby into a pile of leaves and still go unnoticed. On the other hand, the fire ability is one of the most beloved, and not just because it can burn leaves. If Kirby spins in the air, he'll pick up inertia, and when he lands on the ground, he'll be able to gain momentum to climb walls. Monster Flame is a super version of the fire ability and enhances Kirby even further. Here, he'll be able to summon huge fire dragons that'll destroy everything on the screen horizontally. Okay, now time to cool down and talk about the water ability. As the name suggests, Kirby will throw water at his enemies, kinda like a Squirtle. He can also use it to surf across any surface and go very fast. Okay, time for the most useless ability in the game. If Kirby gets his sleep ability, he'll fall asleep. On the plus side, he does get his super cute beanie on his head and finally gets a good night's rest. If you're a Zelda fan, you're going to love the sword ability. With it, Kirby will be able to do the classic spinning attack and an aerial stab. But the coolest thing of all is the Sky Energy Sword, which, like Link in Skyward Sword, makes Kirby able to charge a crescent shot by pointing his sword into the sky. The Ultra Sword super ability is so representative of the game that Masahiro Sakurai decided to include it as Kirby's final smash. Each time you attack, you'll use a different weapon, including a kitchen knife, a bamboo sword, the Gigan Edge sword, and finally the Meta Knight sword. Not to be missed is the stone ability that turns Kirby into different things, from fist-shaped rocks to statues that refer to other games. New to the game are the Kirby car statue and the round Kirby from Dream Buffet. Which one's your favorite? Let's go with Tornado, another Kirby classic ability that uses the power of wind to make him spin endlessly. Nothing more, nothing less, so let's stop beating around the bush with this ability. Just as Red Bull gives you wings, so does this ability to Kirby. Soaring through the skies is easier than floating with these unique wings. If you're good at piloting Kirby, you'll be able to perform small combos against enemies. Like Bandana D, Kirby can also use a spear to defend and attack. The spear ability is useful for activating switches through walls, but the most fun is taken to the skies with the Skyward Thrust. Contrary to what many of you may think, Kirby becomes a hedgehog with the needle ability, but he can't run very fast. It's used to attack enemies with spikes by touching them. We end things off with an electrifying ability, Spark Kirby. Now the most fun part of this power-up is that Kirby can charge himself with static electricity if he moves his feet fast on the ground. He can also throw a Thunder Shock up or down, so Kirby's got nothing to envy Pikachu for. What's your favorite ability? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you want more video game facts, check out our latest secrets and Easter egg videos. See you next time!